And welcome. This is the Skeinz Diaries. I'm Marie. It is Monday, the 20th of February, episode 228. And wow, what a week it has been here in Napier. Since I spoke to you guys this time last week, as you may know, Cyclone Gabrielle, which had just arrived, the outskirts when I spoke to you last week, certainly made her presence felt here in the 24 hours from Monday through Tuesday. And it is certainly something that none of us suspected. So welcome along, everybody. Come on in. So I thought this morning we have had power restored after a week here. So as you can see, I'm in the office, just getting a few things sorted out today and having meetings with the mill team and with Claire and seeing the lay of the land. So I thought, good morning. I'll just let everyone come in and then I'll fill you in on what's going on. So I thought I would take the time to come in and check in with you guys in person. To see how you all are and to let you in how we're all going and coping over here. And it is certainly been a week. I've been actually going through this morning and replying to emails. There are so many emails of support, checking in. I haven't even hit the social media pages yet, but thank you so much to everybody that did that. And there's the phone. I'll answer that in a minute. It has been hugely appreciated from all of us. So we really, really do appreciate everybody reaching out across the last week. It has been amazing, absolutely amazing. See, forgot to turn the phone off. It has been wonderful, really, truly wonderful. So thank you for everyone for reaching out and making sure that we're okay. Claire and I we were able to check in. We have a little communication amongst our immediate Skeinz team, and we were able to do that first thing Tuesday. So in terms of a timeline, the weather obviously went insane here on Monday night, and the problem for Napier, and particularly for Napier, wasn't so much what we had here in the city. I mean, the storm in the city, yes, she was a storm, but we've had similar storms before, and the storm of 2020, which saw flooding both here in the shop. My street got badly flooded. Actually, a number of the girls, their areas all got really badly flooded. Infrastructure was improved after that, and most of those areas, or none of those areas, were affected like they were back then. And so that was wonderful. So here in town, when we all reached out to each other on Tuesday morning to check how we were doing, at that stage we all still had power. Communications were still up and running. We thought, oh, great, and the weather had sort of moved to a bit of a light rain and a drizzle, and we thought, oh, we've gotten through the worst of it. What we didn't realise is, whilst we'd had about 400 odd mils of rain in town, they had in excess of 1.7 to 2 metres, 2,000 mils, 1.7 to 2,000 mils in the hills above us. And that was the problem, because of course all of that water has to go somewhere and it goes downhill. So hence the flooding in Esk Valley, which many of you have seen. And it's been a time. So for those of us who are living in the main part of the city, we were by and large okay, except we'd just been essentially without power and communication for in the short term. I was lucky. My street was one of the first to be restored, so we were 4 and a bit days without power and phone. But thank goodness for camping gear and resourceful, wonderful neighbours and friends. We all hung in together and just there were generators run. I've got lots of hunting, shooting, fishing type camping people that live around me, and same with us. We've got a lot of camping gear. So we had generators running. It was like a spaghetti system in our street with cables running across the backs of fences to keep freezers intact and things like that. So it was pretty good to have that support. And it's if you don't know your neighbours particularly well, get to know your neighbours. It's a really good time to do it. I'm lucky I've got a great street. We're a really good hood, and we're still there to look after, we're still looking out for each other, which is great. We by no means are out of the woods yet. Went to the mill this morning. and caught up with the team there, the key team there, and well, needless to say, Claire and I left in tears. It's just hearing what everyone has gone through it is heartbreaking. I'm going to go because I'm going to start again. Is heartbreaking. I've been round to see a friend this morning who lost everything from the Esk Valley and dropped some stuff off to her. And a number of, everyone here knows somebody who has been so adversely affected. And you just need to look at telly and the internet to see it is something to see it on TV, but it's quite something to see it up close. Sorry, I'm going to start crying. So we're not going to. However, what we are going to do is been working with Claire for a plan of attack. Now that we've got power here in the shop, we can start doing some stuff. So I'm going to open the shop for our local customers here from tomorrow, just normal hours. I'm going to be out there tomorrow and Wednesday, and I'm going to see for cover Thursday, Friday. And it's really, if you want to come in and buy yarn, fabulous, we're there for you. If you want to just come in, if you're local to my locals, if you just want to come in for a chat, if you just want to come in and bring your knitting and sit down, if you just want to come and have a cuppa and just be around some people, that's what we're going to be here for, really. So the shop will be open, and I'll have Cheryl here answering inquiries and phone calls, and we're going to do our packing. We've obviously got orders that had come in across this week. They're all going to get packed and sorted. However, whilst I haven't directly heard from the team at New Zealand Couriers this morning, they have updated what they call their network status, which is actually a system that they put in after COVID to give you an idea of the status of all of their courier locations. It's actually a really great tool. I'm going to send out a newsletter which will actually have the link for that in it. And obviously, Napier, Hastings, Wairoa, Waipukurau, Waipawa, and Gisborne and Wairoa are all on what they call status critical, which means that they're only moving essential services, medicines, and goods for the relief. So at this stage, we've got no ability to dispatch anything. And to be quite honest with you, I'm predicting it is going to be that way at least for another week until I hear otherwise. So for those who have got orders in the system, we really appreciate your patience. So we're going to have them all packed and ready, and we're going to, as they come in, we will just get them packed and ready to send out, similar to actually what we did during lockdown. And once we've got the word from the team at New Zealand Couriers, we'll start dispatching. If you are not aware, there's no roads heading north from Gisborne at all, from Napier at all. So we can't get the Napier Wairoa is closed, as is Napier Taupo. The ETA on those being open, we're talking months as opposed to days and weeks. These roads are especially Napier Gisborne Napier Wairoa is there's not a lot left in certain spots, so it is pretty dicey. Pauline's asking, is there anything we can do to help? Yes, Pauline, that is a really great question. Yes, there is. I did a ring round yesterday with some of the people at the centres, like in terms of coordinating relief, because I knew that would be a question. And the answer is similar to what I popped out in the newsletter on Saturday. The support, even just from locals, because as I said, most of us here in town were all okay. It's everybody on the fringes, the city fringes, particularly of Napier, and also the belt between the rural belt that runs between Napier and Hastings, which is Pakawhai and Puketapu, which is up and over the hill, and Waihik, and all of those areas. They have been really, really hard hit. So the locals have been incredible. They've already been jumping in and providing stuff. But the biggest thing that every coordinator I spoke to from the three main centres said is what they need right now is cash, because that is the one thing that they can turn into something tangible at this end. And especially because deliveries can't come in. any deliveries coming in are only of emergency supply, so there's no what I would call standard goods deliveries moving around. So if you are able to donate, I'll pop the donation links I popped out over the weekend back in today's newsletter. But the Red Cross have got an appeal which covers all the flood relief affected areas, but also the Hawke's Bay Foundation also has, if you want to specifically help people here in the Bay. And I also now know the SPCA have set up a relief fund to actually help the number of displaced animals that, as you can imagine, there are so many of them. So they're working really hard to house and look after them and rehome them and reunite them with their owners. So that's going on at the moment as well. So if you really want to help, that's the best way to help. And I know, I think Heather over on the Speakeasy had some beautiful knitted dolls. In terms of wanting to send those to families, the best way, if you've got anything like that, have a little raffle, get together, something like that, to actually generate cash to be able to donate to those funds is what's really, really going to help at the moment. Claire has just gone off to have a meeting with two of our girls to set up a little relief effort amongst some groups that we have here, of what we can do from our end, because there's lots of people at home that are, just feeling pretty isolated and lonely at the moment. So she's gone to do that, and then me with Cheryl and Eliza and Cara, we're going to keep the ship sailing here at the shop. So that's how we've sort of divided our plans at the moment. In terms of the mill are operational today partially. Because the power literally to both the mill and here was only restored late, very, very late yesterday. And we're not what we would call at full capacity or full grid. So like, for example, when I open the shop tomorrow, I won't have air cons or anything like that running. It's only just sort of lights and internet and to keep things moving. And it's a bit the same. It's at the mill. They can't operate anything that has wastewater effect. So there's no dye house. There's no, they can't turn the boiler on because of the power draw. They've got some stuff that they're moving through at the minute, but until that changes, we're only very restricted on what we can do across there. So it is very much a movable feast. So we're all literally taking things day by day, and it's quite full on. Yes. Hi, Austin. As I just met, Austin's just asking in how we can help. Definitely donating. And so as I said, redcross.org for the Total Flood Relief Hawke's Bay Foundation, for things specifically here. Or the SPCA if you want to help the animals. Those are the three places. From my perspective, I did get a lot of knitting done, as you can imagine, especially when the power was off. During the day, because obviously it's amazing how dark the city where I live. I'm sandwiched between Ahuriri village, which is like a historic fishing village, and the Napier port and the hill behind us, and so we're sort of in this little sandwich zone, and it's quite well lit, because up behind us is rail yards, and it's where they have all the fueling, and that's all very lit up. Claire and I were just talking about it before, because Claire lives on the hill directly above me, and we were just saying how dark it was those first few days, because there were no generators and things. It was all just still a bit and how quiet it was. It was really eerie. It was even quieter than lockdown. It was kind of eerie. So did a bit of knitting. So I did actually bring it in, because I pulled it in. But I got my love note finished. There she is. Look at that. With the gentle sway back at the bottom. And I'm utterly... And I even got it wet blocked and dried. And I'm utterly... This is in the Stornoway in the Highlander Heathers. It was so funny when I was finishing this off. This yarn is so resilient, and it was such a good metaphor for what's going on this week. And as I was finishing this, it just made me realize how much I love these robust yarns. Just amazing. So that is completed, and that is, as you can see, I pulled the tension back, and I'm really, as you can see, I think that tension looks so much better. So if you are going to do this, I've pulled the tension back to about 18 stitches as opposed to the 16 that they had, and just pulling it back that little bit has made a tremendous difference. So I did get that finished, and this is my little, what I call on the go project. So I decided to sort of do a bit more of that. And so that's just another one of my Niadas that I've been playing on. So that's, once the first couple of days rolled around, and then we started working on our own, and we realized, because of course initially so this is the thing, the power goes off, and all the comms to us initially was, oh, it's all going to be fine. So for the first sort of 24 hours you're thinking, oh, it's all going to be okay in a day or so. And then when the phones went out, it was like, oh, okay, the phones are out. And then then I remember camping gear, because we used to do lots of camping when the kids were little. So I dug all the camp. I had everything in Click containers, including a battery-operated transistor radio. So if you don't have one of those, people, you need one. And once I got the radio going and I could hear what was happening, because we were in a bubble, we had no idea. We were all okay in town. We didn't flood. We didn't have the issues. So I was happily, blithely, for the first sort of 24, 48 hours, knitting away, thinking, oh, the power must be coming on soon. And then we got told that it was going to be a pretty extended period of time. Margaret was just saying, quiet, I had the helicopters. Oh, believe me, Margaret, I'm by the port. We had the helicopters too, but we didn't quite get them that first day. But even now, I don't set an alarm at the moment because the helicopters are waking me up, and it's it is the search and rescue. And I'm not going to share some of the direct stories that I have from on the ground, because it will come out. But there's going to be some. Let's put it this way: it's going to start me crying again. Things are a lot grimmer than what you're seeing or hearing on the media, and we know this from people who are firsthand at the coalface. So the state of things is heartbreaking, Bev. That's the only way you can describe it. It is utterly heartbreaking. And the people that are out there at the coalface, I'm going to start again now, working, so the volunteers, the volunteer firefighters, the military arrived. I have to admit, I've never been so happy to see a naval ship sail into a port in my life when they turned up. So the Navy are here, the Army have been here pretty much since I think they got here day 2. The local people, and a lot of the communities are having to sort themselves out, and it's just because the centralized civil defense efforts are just literally so overwhelmed. It's not that they're not doing a good job or they're not doing what they need to do. It's just that this is so vast that if you were somewhere and you had to wait for help to come to you, you would be waiting a long time. So that's where the resilience of your local communities have come into play. And they've been amazing. Rural communities are resilient. Sian was just saying, I didn't realize you were teaching in Gisborne when bowler hit. Yeah, see, I was in my last year at high school when bowler hit, Sian. So it was, I remember what it was like. And it is, communities are really resilient, and they get together, and we're seeing that now. So the work that they're doing is amazing, and hence the reason why we've sort of split the team. Sort of half of us keep the ship rolling here at the shop, and then the other 3 are working on support that we can do from a Skeinz perspective at the other side. Like Veronica, I know she's got close friends who are caterers and have portable catering situations. She's been out cooking. I've been working with direct people I know who are directly affected and getting them things. I mean, this is when your little black book of networks comes into play, and making sure that you get people what they need, where they need it, and how they need it. And so there's been loads of that. Margaret, my mum and dad, are they okay? My mum and dad. Oh, my mum and dad. So for those that don't know, my entire family. I'm from Gisborne, so all my family are up there. So they've been hit as well, and so my family run from Te Puia Springs all the way down the coast to town. Um, Actually, Gisborne's biggest issue has been roading and water. They didn't have quite the same power issues that we had, and their river infrastructure, with the exception of Te Karaka, which got pretty hammered, as you probably have seen. But again, amazing community, incredibly resilient. And I've got some sort of extended family there. They in Wairoa as well. In Gisborne Township itself, they had an infrastructure project the last 3 years to increase the height of their stock banks, which, according to my brother, was highly contentious. And now it's no longer highly contentious because it saved the town. So they've got some real issues around water, I think, water security. So they're just trying to get that sorted, and getting more, like us, getting stable power. But my parents are a little bit out of town, and they're in a property that can be prone to surface flooding, has been. So their house is actually raised up quite a height off the ground, and they're not near a river, one of the rivers. So whilst they had flooding come up and around the house, they remain dry. They're not on town water. They've got their own water supply. And of course, with all this lovely rain, all the tanks were completely replenished, and they were only without power for 24 hours, which meant then that they had pumping facilities for water. So they have become sort of ground zero for the family to go out and have hot showers. So everyone in town has been going out to mum and dad's to have hot showers. So of course, family and friends of people have been coming and going from mum and dad's pretty much all week. And I don't think my mum's made as many cups of tea in her life as she has, and she's loved it. So they look, my parents have lived through Boulder, and they've lived through plenty of other disasters. So my dad, yeah, if anyone that knows my father will know that Papa's got in a crisis, and he's got, believe me, everything for being off the grid and handle things. So they're doing great. And it's like everything. It's the isolation, and comms was actually down in Gisborne too for a really long time. Like I literally spent all Saturday. I think comms came online there first thing Saturday morning. My brother got a brief call out to me on Friday night. So I pretty much spent the whole morning on Saturday on the phone, catching up with the family, making sure that they are okay. So yeah, so that was it was good to talk to them, and for them to know about us. Like mum and dad I know mum was really worried because all they were hearing was about the devastation in Napier, and they didn't know where town was at. So it was nice for them to know that we were all okay. So it has certainly been yeah, it's been a time. It's been a week. So I'm going to get a newsletter out today, just to pretty much reiterate what I've talked about here. And as I said, I'll be opening the shop at 10 o'clock tomorrow. So if you've got any friends in Napier who are just sort of needing to stop by and just connect, we've got the table there. I'm going to organize getting some cuppas and stuff if people want to have some cuppas. And it is, it has been, we'll be here if you need us. And thank you so much again for sending all your love. It is appreciated, and it's gonna be week by week. So I'll possibly catch up with you on Thursday. I potentially could have somebody coming and flying in on Thursday. So so if you see me on Thursday, it might be early, could be 10 o'clock, because if the flight is supposed to land at 11. So I might see you on Thursday. But if not, I'll definitely be back again next Monday, and I will fill you in with what's happening for the week moving forward. And as things change, and we can update you in terms of what's going on. But I am picking that there will be no courier service or anything like that for the next week. So But feel free to place an order if you feel like you want to place an order. Hey, look, we can pack it for you, and we will take care of it. And then, yeah, and as I said, if you're local, come see us. Actually, the other thing too is if you're local and you're really really stuck, drop us a line, and we can also see if we can get. Particularly if you're in Napier, they're not so keen about having people travel into city if we can help it. But if you're here in Napier and you're really, really stuck, or you need to get something to someone, just give us a holler and we can see if we can get yarn out and dropped off to them, particularly if it's in our local hoods with all of us that are around. Catherine, yes, Catherine's just asking, is there a way to donate one in the shop, and can we buy for people? Yes, you most definitely can do that, Catherine. So if you would like to do that, just pop on the instructions what it is that you would like to do. If it's in Napier and it's somewhere that it's accessible, and they can either, if they're able to come in and pick it up from us, you can do it for a collect in store, and we can and you can purchase it and then just select collect in store and then put the details in there for who you want to do it for. You have the ability what we call ship to another person, so you can actually put that in there for a collect in store and they can come in and pick it up. If there's somebody that is really really stuck and they are in Napier, just pop in the comments that, you know, is there any possibility for delivery for this, like especially if they want in one of our care homes. If for meaning for people just that we can do that. If for people just drop by, yes, we have a collection point for Red Cross. So we do collect finished knitted garments for Red Cross, but also yarn for Red Cross as well. And I know that Red Cross can do stuff, but we're also collating. In fact, that's what I've got needles behind me and bags here. Claire and the girls, part of their project is they are collating some packs and stuff for people as well. So if you want to donate some yarn for that, we will certainly not say no. You're most welcome to do that. And yes, we do have the ability to distribute and get that to where it needs to be. Okay, I'm going to keep moving so I can get this newsletter out to you. Thank you so much for popping by and coming to say hi. I really do appreciate it. And I will hopefully have some more positive news for you later in the week. If not, I will definitely see you here next week. Until then, take care.